say it. Last year I said, closures and reorganisations are about reducing services, pushing people towards private medicine, increasing the number of private patients, and opening the door to huge profit-making corporations. They must be resisted.
Yeah.
Let me say it again. Closures and reorganisations are about reducing services, pushing people towards private medicine, increasing the number of private patients, and opening the door to huge profit-making corporations. They must be resisted.
Yeah.
Just now, we need to keep the NHS at the top of the political agenda. Ironically, I wrote this yesterday before Cameron's latest announcement, and wrote, by promising to throw money at the NHS, much of which will end up with private corporations,
Yes.
the Tories are pretending that the NHS is safe in their hands, even while charges are being mooted and privatisation grows. They can't be allowed to get away with it. We need to revive the spirit of 45 to ensure that health is seen as a public good and a public right, to ensure that it is publicly funded and provided. In our own constituencies, how we vote will undoubtedly depend on local conditions and likely local outcomes. But we must ensure that all voters understand the issues and can offer an informed challenge to candidates on these issues. In Hammersmith and Fulham, we are maintaining a permanent presence in the streets with petitions, a string of different leaflets and posters, focusing on the public, just now with a vote for the NHS theme. We listen to the public and help voice their concerns. We get shops to put up posters and we leaflet supporters and key streets and wards. We email core supporters weekly and try to maximise the use of social media. We successfully mobilise large numbers of the public, as in the London Comp Rally in Hammersmith last month. We have established a positive working relationship with our local health watch. We know that's not possible everywhere, which is now also calling for a moratorium on further closures and reorganisations. We regularly attend hospital trust and CCG meetings, raising awkward questions which increasingly are making trust and CCG members uncomfortable. Indeed, we now have some members of the local CCG telling us how important our questions are and how we must continue to raise these issues. So divisions in their ranks are starting to be exposed and to be revealed publicly. So disturbed is the CCG by our effectiveness in opposing the Shaping a Healthier Future plans that they are spending millions of pounds of health money employing consultants. And I don't mean medical consultants, but spin doctors, to counter our publicity. The latest stunt from the CCG is an email sent to all candidates in the election, essentially promoting Shaping a Healthier Future plans, the biggest and nastiest reorganisation in the NHS since its inception. We await a response to our letter of complaint about this intervention by a public body in the election. And we need to continue our pressure on these public health bodies. For the coming election, Save Our Hospitals has a health check for candidates. Will the candidate work to keep Charing Cross as a major hospital with blue light A&E and sufficient beds for a growing and ageing population? Will the candidates support a real increase in NH spending to allow patients' needs to be properly met? Will the candidates support better funding of mental health services to meet local mental health needs? Will the candidate actively oppose the creeping privatisation of our NHS? Will the candidate support the repeal of the Health and Social Care Act 2012 so that the NHS returns to being publicly funded, publicly provided, and with the Secretary of State again responsible for health services? As a local campaign, we engage with the public constantly, informing, listening and learning from them. And we have succeeded in putting local NHS bureaucrats on the defensive. The political parties take us very seriously. How could they not when we've already overturned one political administration, the Tories, last May? And at this point, the NHS bodies and the political parties know we're not going to go away, whatever the outcome of the pandemic. But we can't win the key battle for the NHS by ourselves as an isolated campaign. Of course we have important local victories, as we've seen in Lewisham, but this won't save the NHS. As campaigners, we need the constant reinvention of imaginative tactics which engage with a wide spread of the public, pulling people behind our demands. Save Our Hospitals has a good line in Diamonds. We need high-profile local action which links with high-profile local action across the nation, and we need nationally organised events and actions. We need to campaign locally and nationally on the local and national issues. Let's join together today to plan a strategy that is local and national, both to ensure that the NHS is a key issue, the key issue in the election, and to ensure that no matter what government we have, we continue to press our demands. We need to stop the closures, stop the reorganisations, stop the privatisation. We need to ensure that in this election there is a huge vote for the NHS, and we need to show that we are ready to continue the fight until we win.
Yes.